I don't know what it is, but after 4th of July, I start to feel like I'm in a little bit of a nutrition rut, or I don't feel as good as I'd like to feel in terms of my energy levels, maybe just the way that I feel in my body. Maybe I have a little bit of extra water retention. Maybe I'm just missing a normal schedule with my nutrition. And this happens because at the beginning of summer, I am excited, right? It is more relaxing of a schedule. A lot of people are staying out, later into the evening because the sun is up longer, which for me means more drinks and foods. And then we've just had a lot of travel, and you combine that with like 4th of July and holiday, I just kind of started to feel like I was in a nutrition rut. Like I'm always eating single ingredient foods. I'm always being mindful of my food, but I felt like I was just unmotivated to do much with my nutrition, and that resulted in me kind of feeling a little bit blah. So if you kind of feel the same, where you love summer and you love the flexibility of it, you love the time freedom of it, maybe you love having your kids home or being able to stay out later with your neighbor girlfriends having a glass of wine, but you're like, I also just feel like I want to get back to a normal nutrition routine, stay tuned, because on today's episode, I want to share with you my favorite summer nutrition tips for when I experience these ruts, what I do just to get back to a normal Angie method of nutrition. And what I love about these tips, if you're someone who is maybe getting a little bit of exhausted with the change in structure from, if you're a mom, kids being in school to being home, and we know they're gonna be going back to school in a month, and you're like, I don't wanna wait until they're back in school to start feeling like myself with my food and my fitness again, you are gonna love the tips that I share on today's episode. So, stay tuned. I'm gonna share with you my top favorite ways, if you're experiencing a summer nutrition rut, how to pull you right out of it and feel back in alignment with your food and your results. My number one tip, which this would be honestly for any time you feel like you're in a nutrition rut or you kind of feel like you fell off your game with nutrition, whatever game that is that you're playing. For me, this typically happens after I've been traveling a lot and out of my normal rhythm. Summer is another great example of it because I just feel like the structure of when I eat is not the same as the rest of the seasons, and I'm socializing a lot more, so it's a lot more eating out and drinking than my normal schedule. So if you're someone who you're kind of exhausted by just being off of your normal rhythm, this one's for you. Plan your day ahead. Now, it does not mean what you plan to eat or drink is stuck in stone, but the more we think ahead, the more mindful we will be throughout the day of what we're grabbing or what we might be a little bit more reactive with in terms of food and drink. And it gives you an idea of the when you're gonna eat. So when I feel in a nutrition rut, the quickest way to pull myself out of it is just by being mindful and planning in advance. So whether I'm using like pen to paper or using an app like MyFitnessPal, I do it to make it a meal planner. So this way, I've already established what I want to eat for the day and why I want to eat it, which generally when I'm in a rut, I just don't feel as energized. I don't feel as, like lean in my body. So by knowing which foods I'm going to choose and planning that ahead of time, I can pick foods that give me better energy, give me better satiety, and allow me to have a little bit more flexibility for that food and drink that I want to enjoy if it is more of a relaxed evening outside having drinks or going out with friends for dinner or drinks. So plan ahead. It is not something that is overwhelming. It is not something that should stress you out. It should just be able to take it out of your head, put it on paper, and then you can go in with the day knowing that you'll have some type of structure that you'll be in alignment with that'll make you feel like you're not in a rut anymore. So tip number one, plan your day ahead. Okay, so speaking of planning your day ahead, there is no magic to having breakfast, right? It's not gonna be the thing that is gonna take care of your hormones, or it's gonna be like the best thing for fat loss or whatever that is. But starting your day with a well-balanced, nutritious, and I like to do high fiber breakfast, it just sets the tone for a normal pattern around the structure of when you eat for the day. So if you're planning out your day, in particular, be mindful of breakfast or first meal of the day whenever you're actually eating that, and think about making it a well-balanced, single ingredient, mostly type of meal, that's gonna keep your energy stable, and it's gonna keep you fuller longer if you go for more single ingredients. And so it's summer right now, an easy way for me to get a well-balanced meal in. 3 of my favorites. I'll do Greek yogurt with some stevia and honey, blueberries for the fiber, and a little bit of granola for the crunch. The Greek yogurt's gonna give me high protein, keeping me full, and then I get a little bit of good fat from what's in the granola. Sometimes I'll even add on some chia or hemp seeds, and then a nice carbohydrate between the granola and the blueberry. So a well-balanced meal. It's gonna keep my energy levels nice and stable and set the tone for my day, if I'm feeling in a rut, to have a little bit more structure. I'm also loving, just because it's easy for me, I still am a big fan of overnight oats. And so if you do a steel cut or you do an old-fashioned oat, you're gonna get a good amount of fiber from that to keep you fuller longer, right? It slows down the digestion of your other food. I like to mix it with some protein powder to increase the protein and a little bit of fruit. So that's an easy one, and it's nice and cool to have in the summer. And then my third one would be a protein shake. I don't know, I never get tired of them. And there's so many ways you can switch up a protein shake. So right now I'm really into the Jocko Go chocolate peanut butter one with banana, unsweetened almond milk, and a little bit of stevia. And it's super simple. So those are 3 easy breakfast options that are nice and refreshing and cool for summer, but having your day start with breakfast, again, there's nothing magic about it, but it sets the tone for a schedule to follow throughout the day, and it'll pull you out of that nutrition rut. So number 1, plan your day. Number 2, think about breakfast and having a high fiber, well-balanced meal of protein, carbs, and fat. Okay, as I mentioned for myself, when I get really excited about the start of summer, I just want to be grilling out more, hosting barbecues, attending pool parties, and just going out and enjoying the weather. And when I have that excitement, generally with my nutrition and my drinks, I eat more higher calorie things, or I drink more than normal because of the excitement. Then again, in the middle of summer, I hit that nutrition rut because I'm kind of like, oh man, I just feel off my game. Like when I don't eat a lot of sustenance food, I feel off my game. So number 3, I still want to socialize and I still want to have fun, but now I'm going to be a little bit more mindful to pull myself out of that nutrition slump, to make trade-offs when I'm attending parties, hosting parties, or eating out. What I mean by that is, so most of the barbecues I go to, I feel like there's potato salad, the baked beans, the coleslaw, all the dips, the chips, the desserts, and I get super excited to have it all at the beginning of summer because it's a new season, it's a new party, I'm seeing more people. And then when I'm feeling in this nutrition slump, the easiest way for me to keep getting back to what makes me feel the best with my health is making these trade-offs. So now I can host a barbecue, go to a barbecue, go out to eat, and I can make simple trade-offs. So like when I'm hosting, rather than having all the heavy stuff that's higher calorie like potato salad and the baked beans, I'll make a bunch of grilled veggies. Everybody loves it. They don't feel like they're missing out. I can season them the way that I want to season them, and that saves me on so many calories when I make those trade-offs. The same with appetizers. Rather than having like a heavy French onion dip or a bean dip, I can do fresh salsa. I can buy a hummus. I can get a Greek yogurt dip or make my own with Greek yogurt. And again, it's gonna save me on a lot of calories. So I just think about different trade-offs I can make. That's a quick way to pull yourself out of the rut without feeling like you can't go to these parties and enjoy them or host them yourself. Okay, so it's easy when you're at a restaurant because it would be the same as all year long. Let's say you want to enjoy drinks more than you really care about the sides. Well, that's easy. You just make your trade-offs. You enjoy some cocktails or a beer or two. Maybe instead of the French fries, you get the side salad. So you're just making trade-offs to save on calories to feel more like how you would eat at home. So I like to use different drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, to distract myself. In the summertime, if the boys are home a little bit more, like you've seen them come in multiple times.
Hello.
Go play with Bubs real quick. Oh, don't blow it. I just do a little bit of boredom eating or distraction eating, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I'm necessarily bored, but it like gives me something to do to distract myself. So I rely on liquids to keep myself from grabbing a bunch of random bite, licks, and tastes with food. And this is the time where I love different flavored unsweetened iced teas, or I'll use stevia to sweeten them. And I'll try a bunch of different ones. So I like to do different, maybe peach or a hibiscus, a regular one. I grew up where my mom would make sun tea, so she literally would put the jug with the tea bags outside. So it reminds me of her when she was still alive. Plus, I just feel like it's a great thing to sip on to distract me from food. Or I'll do different electrolyte drinks that are like 10 calories. Staying hydrated with any kind of water is gonna help you be a little bit less focused on food. The more hydrated you are, the more your energy stays stable. So if you find yourself snacking a lot more in the summer, it could just be you're dehydrated and you're mistaking dehydration for hunger and you're just grabbing bite licks and taste to get your energy up. You just might have to get your hydration up. So my go-tos are iced tea. I do like Crystal Light because that's 0 calorie. I will do different smoothies and just sip on those, but staying hydrated and using liquid and a lower calorie type of liquid will help you just feel more in alignment with your nutrition. And the last thing that kind of gets me back in alignment with my nutrition, so I start to feel more energized and more like myself, is I try to get a little more creative in the kitchen. For the very first month, 2 months of summer, it's pretty much the exact same grilled proteins and grilled veggies, and I like those and I am excited about those at the beginning, but then I get a little bit tired of them. I'm like, ah man, I can't eat any more grilled veggies, or I'm not excited to have any more grilled veggies. So I start to get a little bit more creative. I'll still do grilled burgers, but I explore a little bit and I'll be like, I'm gonna do a caprese burger with little mozzarella and fresh tomato and fresh basil, or I'll do different variations of turkey burgers. So right now I have a lot of fresh cilantro and fresh mint, so I might do more of a Mexican style one with the cilantro as a turkey burger, or I do more of a Greek one with mint and feta inside the turkey burger. So I just try to get more creative. I keep doing what I'm normally doing, but rather than being like, screw it, like I don't want to prep anymore, I'm tired of having these same proteins and veggies, I just think of creative ways to mix them up. So I'm still eating my lean proteins and my veggies and my nutrient dense carbohydrates to make me feel energized and like the best version of me. So that is tip number 5. Just take your normal staples and get a little bit more creative with them. So you want to continue to eat those foods, those single ingredient, nutrient dense foods that we all know are great for staying out of a nutrition rut. Okay, so those are my 5 tips that if right now you feel stuck with your nutrition, or maybe you feel like I'm gaining weight, or I don't feel as good as I did when summer started. Maybe it's already been a really fun summer. Maybe it's been filled with different holiday celebrations and travel, and you've been eating and drinking and not out of control, but you just don't feel like the best version of yourself with your nutrition. Start with these 5 easy tips, and that'll help to start pulling you out. There's no need to wait until summer is over or kids are back in school. These are easy things you can do right now that require very little time or very little mental bandwidth, doing a little bit of planning ahead to create a schedule around when you eat so it's not as relaxed or reactive, making sure that you start your day, whenever your day starts, with a good, well-balanced breakfast. That could be 10 a.m., 11 a.m. It doesn't have to be right when you wake up. Staying hydrated, making your trade-offs when you are at social engagements or eating out, and then rounding it out with getting creative so you don't, go into boredom mode with your normal foods. And that's the easiest way that we can do it. All right, so if you have any more questions on how to build a nutritional strategy unique for you to stay out of the rut and to stay in alignment with how you wanna look and how you wanna feel and how you wanna show up, feel free to always reach out to me on Instagram at angie.lingzo. Ask me any questions over there. I am happy to help you find a unique method for you with your nutrition so you can always feel in alignment with it all year long, and summer in particular. And let me know in the comments below, what else would you like to see more of? Is there any more nutrition, fitness, mindset? You just let me know. I'll make an episode like that in the future. All right, that's all I got. Chat soon.